Hello, welcome to easyodds.com. My name is Ross Casey. I'm here with the horse racing extraordinaire, Jake Johns, who's had an absolutely excellent week. And we're here to do the Victoria Cup this weekend. But before we do that, Jake, should we swiftly move on to ask just how well you've done this week?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week again this week. Last week was alright as well, but this week was slightly better. Started off with, since I've done this video, basically. So started on Friday. We had Punchestown, and I had first and second in the handicap chase there. That was Avantoot and Mr. Diabolo at 13-2 and 16-1. That was I think it was a 20 horse handicap, so that was pretty decent. Happy with that.
Very good.
And then Vroom Vroom Mag won the Punchestown Champion Hurdle very impressively. She got a bit of stick for it, which was just unbelievable, to be honest. I mean, she didn't win by miles, but she's a chaser. She's never run at that level over 2 miles over hurdles. She's probably a 2.5 mile plus chaser. That's probably her best kind of distance, and that's what she wants. And she's going over hurdles against the best 2 mile hurdlers in Ireland and Britain, and she's winning, and she's getting a bit of stick for it, which seems crazy to me. I don't think she won't go champion hurdle next year. I don't know what she's going to do, to be honest. It's impossible because we now know that she can pretty much perform at the top level at absolutely every single in anything. So she could go Ryanair, she could go World Hurdle, she could go Gold Cup even. I've been hearing from Richie. I think she would possibly be his best chance in the Gold Cup, because I've already said that I don't think Vortal will stay the Gold Cup trip. And I think she could possibly be one of his best shouts at that, but I don't know, to be honest. She could go anywhere. And then I had another tip. The other tip I had in that day was 007. Came second, ran really well, much better going right-handed in the Grade 1 novice hurdle. So yeah, I did pretty well.
That was 10-1, right?
Yeah, 10-1, and that was really decent day. So those were all my tips actually. So they all did really well. And then it was the Guineas. It was a pretty mental couple of days.
Yeah.
So we had the 2,000 Guineas first. Galileo Gold won. It was an odd day. There was a lot of outsiders won. I don't know if maybe something was going on with the ground. It might have been a bit sticky. Galileo Gold won. The top three in the betting for the 2,000 Guineas came third last, second last, and last.
Okay.
My tip did not do brilliantly, Marcel, but I don't know. Maybe there's something amiss. It definitely didn't run to form. It just wasn't a very good run. Air Force Blue was the massive surprise of the race, obviously. Who odds-on favourite, been talked up all winter, wintered perfectly, perfect preparation, comes second last or third last or whatever, and he was awful. But I said that the Warfront form from 2-year-olds to 3-year-olds is really significantly worse. Still now people aren't talking about it, but that could have been a factor. He obviously didn't even perform to his 2-year-old form even slightly, but I don't know. Buratino was also up there early, but didn't stay the trip. Which was kind of, people thought that might happen anyway, which it probably is. So, which is good for me because I tipped him for the Commonwealth Cup, and it looked like it's going to come back down to 6 furlongs. Yeah. And then Sunday was the day, the big day, the big winner, and we'll start off with the 1,000 Guineas. Who cares about that? But Minding won the 1,000 Guineas, and Ballydoyle second, Alice Springs third. I tipped up Minding and Ballydoyle. I wasn't sure which out of the two were to go, depending on the ground. But the came first and second. Alice Springs came third, who I also mentioned in the podcast last week, which was I said it was hard to split those three. They all got, I thought she was going to outperform her odds, and she definitely did. Yeah, it's impressive for her third place. Ballydoyle met quite a bit of trouble in running actually. And probably would have been a bit closer, but it was really impressive from Minding. She's now favourite for Derby, which is strange, obviously. But on Friday, there was a Andre Farb horse called Usherette, I don't even know how you say it.
If you follow you on Twitter.
I don't usually do Sunday tips on Friday, but I saw this price and I just had to writing at about 2,000 miles an hour. My hands couldn't even...
All capital letters.
All capital letters. Usherette, and she was 33-1. And it was just, what has happened? What is going on? How is she 33-1? She should have been. I thought she was probably going to go off about 12-1.
Which is a big difference in price anyway.
Which is a big difference in price anyway, but she ended up going off 5-1, which is insane. 33-1 down to 5-1.
That shows the importance of the odds comparison, and also getting your.
It's really, really important to get in early.
Get in early, yeah.
Because sometimes they don't really know what they're doing, like with this one, because she's running a Group 1 in France last season, was really free to post, and was free in the race and still performed all right. But she's obviously going to come on from that run. She was 4 from 5. She won 2 on the all-weather in France, really, really impressively. Not brilliant races, but she's on Refarb, she's unexposed.
Yeah.
33 to 1, madness. Anyway, she won 33 to 1 on Sunday, so that's crazy profit. That was at Newmarket in the Delia Stakes. And then Monday found return to form. I thought she would. She was obviously not impressive on her first run on heavy going. She had much better ground, and she was really, really impressive. She got caught in a pocket actually, and I thought, oh, what's Ryan Moore doing? But then he just threw it to the eye of the needle. It was amazing. Really good ride. Really, really impressive. Would have won by further if she got a bit of more clear air earlier on. So yeah, I don't know where she's going. Something at Royal Ascot. She looks like she's trained on quite well, so that'll be exciting. Wednesday, so yesterday, I had the winner of the Chester Cup. No Heretic, trained by Nicky Henderson. Brilliant training performance. And had a flat run for 900 days or whatever it was. Ran well over hurdles in a prep race for this, which is why I tipped it. But he pulled the whole way that time, and he pulled the whole way this time, and he still won anyway. After a couple of furlongs, I thought, I pretty much thought he had no chance, because he was literally pulling the whole way, and I just thought he had absolutely no chance. But yeah, and then Kimberella won the next race at 5 to 1. Perfect ride from. It was a perfect ride, and it was just a Fanny Norton classic around Chester. Perfectly round the inside. Couldn't have been in a better position. Won really well. He was on a really good handicap mark, and so that wasn't that right. And he got weird ride the time before that. So that was a good win at 5 to 1. Okay, let's move on to the tips for Saturday at Ascot.
Briefly, just before we do that, Jake, so we just highlight that you found just in the last week 13 to 2, 16 to 1, 33 to 1, 12 to 1 winners already. In the last 7 days, Jake's found those price winners. So if you're not listening yet, make sure that you listen to that last sentence and it's probably worth listening to.
I think I'm about for May, just May, I'm about £280 from a £10 stake.
Absolutely.
Which is very good.
Follow this guy's tips, and that's the reason that we're here. And let's now move on to the weekend ahead with the Victoria Cup. So what have you got for us, Jake?
We've got the Victoria Cup, 29 horse handicap over 7 furlongs at Ascot at this stage of the season. Oh, that's daunting. That is a daunting sight. But there's a couple in here that caught my eye that I liked a lot. It's going to be lightning fast ground. It's going to be absolutely rock solid concrete, because it's hard. It's good to firm at the moment, and it's going to firm up because it's super sunny, and it's going to be really, really hot on Saturday.
Hotter than Ibiza.
Hotter than Ibiza, as the Express says, as they always say whenever it's over 20 degrees. It's hotter than Ibiza. Who cares? All right, okay. Anyway, first up, Grand Inquisitor. He's probably my best bet of the race. I've got three, but this is probably my top one. Currently around 12 to 1. He met a huge amount of trouble in running at Newmarket, and then that was on suitably soft ground. And I mean, he was travelling really well, probably the best in the race. Met so much trouble. Lots of times, he's ridden by Ryan Moore that day, so I possibly should have done slightly better. Session won that race, and he's favourite for this.
Okay.
Unexposed, but I think Grand Inquisitor might have a bit over him to myself. I think he might get back when people see that race back. He obviously would have been closer, and he stayed on really well at the finish anyway, really, really well actually, to finish 6th. He would have been more suited to good ground. Most of his form's on good to firm ground. He beat My Dreamboat on good to firm at Salisbury as a 3-year-old last year, and My Dreamboat went on to be Western him at Sandown last week. It wasn't him as a Sandown specialist. He's like probably won about 1 million. 4 or 5 out of 6 at Sandown. So yeah, that's interesting for him. My Dreamboat reversed the form of ground into a bit later on, but that was over 8 furlongs on good to soft, which would have been a bit unsuitable. I think 7 furlongs, good to firm, absolutely perfect. Classic Michael Stout, 5-year-old. I think he's going to improve for these handicaps. I think he's still well handicapped on 96. I think he's really well handicapped actually, and I think he's probably better than that mark. He's just about got a middle draw in 19. It's because he's in the middle section anyway. But I mean, I'm not sure which side's the pace is going to be, or which side's favoured. I think maybe the lower numbers are slightly, in the betting anyway, are slightly favoured. But he could probably go down there if he really needed to, and it's hard to tell at the moment anyway. It's not like definitely going to be either side. So 12 to 1 each way. Obviously, he hasn't got Ryan Moore on him today for this race, which is a little bit worrying because he's in Lingfield for AP O'Brien in the Derby and Oaks trials. But I still think he's got a really good chance at 12 to 1, and he might get shorter. Next up, Flashfire, trained by Charlie Appleby. Ran in that Newmarket race as well. Finished one place ahead of Grand Inquisitor. Had less of a treble passage, but still ran his race, and he is much, much, much more suited to good to firm ground, and that would have been totally unsuitable. It just looked like he got bogged down in the bag ground. He's been kept fit over winter and autumn at Maidan, where he's been run admirably on pretty much every attempt he's been at. I think 7 furlongs is perfect for him. He's quite high in the weights at the moment, but I think he's capable of this mark. He's at number 3. It's a little bit, it's the touch and go, but I think he's definitely capable of this mark. And I think on good to firm 7 furlongs, he's not going to get a better kind of surface and conditions than that. He came second to Buckstay, Newmarket over good to firm, where he stayed on pretty well. He's running loads and loads of good races basically. I think he's got a great chance. He's got Adam Kirby on board, who's a fantastic jockey in these big fields. The one issue that's slightly worrying is he's drawn 29, so he has literally no chance of going to the other side. Even if he wanted to, he's stuck out there. But I think if that's the favourable side, then he has a chance at 16 to 1. It would probably be slightly short if he's on the other side. I don't know, to be honest, but 16 to 1 seems quite a nice price. Each way 16 to 1. Charlie Appleby. One more for this race, Squats. Run well here on numerous times at 6 furlongs. In fact, he's never been out of the top 4 here. He has 3 places and a win, which is really impressive at Ascot. He could improve for the step up and trip, which is why he's such a big price, I think, because people might think that he won't improve. But the way he's been running his last couple of races, because he's a winner over 5 furlongs, but the way he's been running his last couple of races, I think he might improve a little bit up to the step up. He was only 4.5 lengths behind Magical Mystery last season, who's obviously won at the Craven meeting, and he's gone on since that run. To work really well in like group races, but still good race, still good. Made a good account of himself against a top class horse. He's also, most importantly, probably, he's got the talented Georgia Cox as a jockey, claimer taking off £7. So it puts it down to a mark of 91. He won off £2 lower at Ascot at 5 furlongs, albeit, but it's still really, really nice mark. So he's essentially 91, which is he's definitely capable of that mark. He's got a perfect draw in 13, so he could choose either side. I think he's a good price at 20 to 1 each way.
Absolutely. I don't know for a horse that's never finished outside the top 4.
Exactly, and
each way.
Exactly, and they'll be doing 4. Obviously, the worry is the 7 furlongs, but I think he might improve for the step up. I do think he'll get it as well. But like you said, a lot of firms will be doing 5 places. It's such a big race, and they'll be everyone will be doing 4 places, obviously. So I think that might be quite a good one. 20 to 1 each way.
History would have to be made for this not to come in.
yeah. But anyway, so that's Grand Inquisitor. 12 to 1 each way. Flashfire, 16 to 1 each way. Squats, 20 to 1 each way, with Georgia Cox taking off £7.
Excellent stuff. So that's 3 selections there for the Victoria Cup on the weekend, which of course is on the back of the Easy Odds Accumulator in midweek, where myself and Jake put forth 4 selections. All of them came in somewhat dubiously. One of them was Gareth Bale, anytime goal scorer, and that has actually been credited as an own goal, but lots of bookmakers actually paid out as a Gareth Bale goal there. So if you were lucky enough to place our accumulator with one of those bookmakers, such as Sky Bet, then that's a winning accumulator of, listen to this, guys, 287 to 1. £1 on, 287.
Because it had in No Heretic at 12 to 1.
And Kimberella
at 5 to 1, which obviously boosted it up quite a little bit.
Absolutely.
Quite a little bit.
Yeah, so if you want to check out our accumulator for this weekend, make sure that you go onto the site or the app and click onto tips and read our accumulator for this weekend. And Thanks for watching. I've been Ross Casey. This is Jake Johns, and make sure that you press that subscribe button above our heads right now.
Bye. Oh God.